Welcome everybody to my Week 17 NFL review. There were some games that didn't matter a lot, and there were some games that did matter a lot, which is usually how it always goes, but whatever. I'm going to do this off the cuff. I hope you enjoy it. The video begins right after this short break. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door with over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more. Plus, over 55 weekly add-ons. You'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Yet chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. This isn't just lip service. I have been using Factor for a while now. They have plenty of options to make it easy to stick to my goals. They're a go-to lunch and dinner solution if I'm on the run or I'm busy. I've said it in all the other ads that I've done for Factor, and it's 1000% true. They are the real deal. They have my complete and total endorsement, so if you're on the fence about it, you shouldn't be. They are legit. So head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code BARRY50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Once again, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code BARRY50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Browns versus Jets. I never thought I would say this in my entire life, but 39-year-old Joe Flacco is the most exciting quarterback in the NFL right now. Early on, though, the Jets were up to the game as they scored a touchdown to tie it at 7, and then Flacco continued to whip his dick out and just drop it all over New York. The game really blew open late in the first on a pick six thrown by Trevor Seaman to put Cleveland up 20-7, but then Flacco said, hey, I'm going to throw another touchdown pass because I'm a stud, and that put Cleveland up by 20. But then the old Flacco appeared just a little bit as he threw a pick six, which made the game a little bit more competitive and allowed him to stay in and throw another touchdown where he's looking like Patrick Mahomes of old to put the Browns up 34-14. It was 34-17 at halftime, super high scoring. The second half didn't really see much action, and the game basically ended when the Browns blocked Jets' field goal. Final score 37-20, and Joe Flacco has more career touchdown passes than Patrick Mahomes, which is all you need to know about who the better quarterback is. Context be damned. Dallas versus Detroit. The robbery of the year. The Lions got fucked so hard I thought I was watching a porno. There are little bits and pieces throughout the game. Dak Prescott threw a 92-yard touchdown pass early on to make it 7-3. Jared Goff threw a terrible interception on a screen pass, which is actually like 5 interceptions worth. CeeDee Lamb fumbled out of the back of the end zone like a douche. There was a fake punt, although it didn't amount to anything as the Lions couldn't score. But it was academic as they would eventually take a 10-7 lead anyway on a David Montgomery touchdown run. Cowboys responded with a field goal, and the Lions responded right back with a field goal of their own. Take that, Dallas. Dak then found Brandon Cooks midway through the fourth to put them up by 4, and then the game kind of became a little bit of a clusterfuck. There was some bad passes, there was sacks, there was another terrible interception by Jared Goff. This is him doing his impression of me after a long night of drinking. Jesus, I am so fucking hungover. Despite all of this, with 26 seconds left down 7, Jared Goff found Amon-Ra St. Brown to make it a 1-point game, and knowing Dan Campbell, he's a gambler, they went for 2, and it ended up succeeding on a great throw. Taylor Decker gave the Lions the lead, but no, this little bitch came and said, I touched my shoulders like a girl, and he pointed the other way, and it was negated, and they tried it again, actually 3 times, but it didn't work out. They failed. The onside kick was recovered by Dallas. Dallas might win the NFC East, all because this dipshit literally stole a game from Detroit. Not cool. San Fran versus Washington. For a minute, it looked like Washington was actually going to pull off the upset in this one, as they played the 49ers pretty evenly through a half or 2.5 quarters, tying the game at 10 even at 1 point, before the 49ers regained their composure and then started to run up the score like a bunch of doo-doo heads. In the fourth quarter, Sam Howell basically completely combusted, throwing a terrible red zone interception, and then Brock Purdy went to work, making a couple actually great throws for a touchdown to put the 49ers up 17. Sam Howell, yeah, he's not the guy. I don't know what to tell you. He's just not the guy. He stinks. How about this heroic 4th down goal line stand by Washington's defense, down 17 with 4 minutes left? This is integrity. This is what heroes look like. And here's another crappy play by Sam Howell just for shits and giggles. 27-10 final score. Just can't get over how much of a douchebag this guy looks like. Kyle Shanahan, just wow. Houston versus Tennessee. Pretty nondescript game. Texans gained control early and would not let go. Unsurprisingly now, CJ Stroud had another great game in what is one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time by a quarterback. His counterpart, fellow rookie Will Levis, was not as fortunate as he got hit in a sack and he hurt his foot and there was a super sad cart, ambulance, whatever the fuck it is. They just took him off the field. I mean, it's 2024 now, literally, and there's no better way to take injured players off the field than with these motorized carts. It's pretty fucking pathetic. But anyway, he fumbled it and the Texans picked it up to go up by 17, and so they had to put Ryan Tannehill back in, and Tannehill fucking blows. And it was 20-0, and then the Titans finally got on the board just for halftime with a field goal. This is where the game ended right here, 23-3, 4th and goal. Tannehill decides to play dodgeball, and he would have won if it was dodgeball, but guess what? It's not dodgeball. Really just guys just doing some hanky-panky the rest of the way. The Texans hit one more field goal just for good measure to make the final score 26-3. Texans have obviously been one of the most unexpectedly good teams. I can't believe they could clinch the playoffs with a win next week. Bills versus Belichick. Hey, the game started off great for the Patriots. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Jalen Reagor, how about that? Wow, I'm so happy the Eagles picked him over Justin Jefferson. Anyway, then this game went completely into the shitter for the Patriots quickly. Bailey Zapp threw like 3 terrible interceptions almost simultaneously, which set up Buffalo with great field position. Mac Jones is just dismayed. He would have thrown a better interception than that. Everybody's doing the tush push. Nobody complains when the Bills do the tush push, but when the Eagles do it, oh, it's a fucking felony. Here's another fumble that the Bills used a field goal to go 13-7. Then there was the backbreaker where Zapp threw a pick 6, put Buffalo up 20-7 early in the second quarter. Patriots would not go away though. Zappy channeled the ghost of Tom Brady with this incredible screen pass, which gained a bunch of yards. And then he capped off the drive with the historically deceptively athletic touchdown run. People were floored. Josh Allen showing off his arm strength with this terrible interception. Remember the days when the Patriots had Gostkowski and Vinatieri and everything was basically guaranteed? Yeah, well, those days are gone, pal, because there was a missed field goal. You knew that eventually the Bills would break through, and they did, going up by 13. But again, Zappy would not let the Patriots die. No offense to Mel Gibson. Ezekiel Elliott, remember him? He scored a touchdown to make it a 6-point game early in the fourth, and the Patriots even had the ball with a chance to potentially win the game, and they threw it 4 yards short of the sticks on third down, and that was the last they ever got it as the Bills eventually ran out the clock, and super sexy beanie Bill Belichick is one game away from becoming the next Chargers head coach and probably GM. New Orleans versus Tampa Bay. The worst division of football continues to somehow get even worse, but on this day it was Derek Carr and the Saints who would emerge as the victors, as Baker Mayfield did nothing right for about 3 quarters. The Saints would take a monstrous lead, 17-0, into halftime. The turnover for Tampa continued into the second half. The Saints made it a 20-0 game. Baker threw a terrible, I don't even know what the hell you describe that interception, just terrible. It wasn't until midway through the final stanza that Baker finally got his head on straight and threw a touchdown to make it 20-7, but the Saints would expand that back up to 16. This is the type of day it was. Baker makes this great deep throw to a guy, and he has the catch, and he ends up fumbling like a doofus dipshit, and the Saints recovered. So the Saints defense did nothing, and they got rewarded. Mayfield kept firing, though. He found Godwin for a touchdown to make it a 10-point game. Originally, the 2-point conversion appeared to make it an 8-point game, but Godwin stepped out of bounds. He went to the white line, which is what got Len Bias in trouble, folks. Don't forget that. They redid the 2-point conversion, and it did not work out as well the second time, solidifying the Saints' 10-point win and basically leaving the division up for grabs in the final week of the season. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Carolina. One of the more boring games of the weekend. Trevor Lawrence didn't play, and you couldn't even tell the difference because the Jaguars destroyed Bryce Young, which isn't very, very rare because he's had one good game in like 15 or 16 starts this year, getting sacked all the time. There really was very minimal exciting plays in this game outside of 1 or 2. The Jaguars went up 9-0, and then Travis Etienne broke off the best play of the game, which was a long touchdown run to go up 16-0, and we knew that was way more than enough points that they needed against Bryce Young, who once again was terrible. Did I say that already? Anyway, it was 26-0, and then Bryce Young on the Panthers' last possession threw an interception to make his stats even worse. Very obvious at this point that Bryce Young is a draft bust, regardless of what anybody says. The meeting of the visors. Yes, hello. Indianapolis versus Las Vegas. The game began with a Jonathan Taylor touchdown run to put the Colts up by 7, but the Raiders hung in there, no offense to Aaron Hernandez, making it 7-3. There was a bit of a lull in the action before the Colts struck again on a deep touchdown pass from Gardner Minshew, go up by double digits, and from that point on, the rest of the game, the Raiders were working uphill. Devontae Adams got in the end zone once again. He's obviously a Hall of Famer and way more deserving than Devin Hester, who should not make the Hall of Fame at all. The Colts would make it a 7-point game, but the Raiders could not answer that. Then they made it a 10-point game to go up by 2 scores. The Raiders respond with a field goal of their own to make it a 1-possession game again, but they were never able to get the ball with 1 possession in the fourth quarter, as the Colts added another field goal to go up 10. But they wouldn't go away lightly, as Adams had a spectacular touchdown catch, his second of the day, to make it a 3-point game. The onside kick, it almost worked, but it didn't. Colts hung on to win a pretty exciting game, very overlooked game, but very exciting. Rams versus New Jersey. The Rams struck first with a touchdown run to go up 7-0, but Tyrod Taylor responded by leading a touchdown drive for the Giants. Matthew Stafford couldn't help himself with another terrible interception. That's just who he is. Giants went for it, but they fumbled the snap on 4th and 1 at midfield because they're the Giants. This helped the Rams go up by 7 on a Stafford touchdown pass to Cooper Kupp, 1950s Middle America approved. Aggressive Tyrod throwing an interception. Bills fans aren't used to seeing that. But it didn't matter because the Rams gave the ball right back. The Giants went into halftime down by 4, and that was quickly expanded to 10 after Puke Nukem had an incredible run after the catch, which was capped off by a touchdown run. A missed extra point, though. Then Tyrod had one of the greatest throws I've ever seen, unironically, to make it a 3-point game. Oh, wait, no, not a 3-point game, a 4-point game because the Giants missed the extra point. More on that later. Stafford would throw a second interception because that's just who he is. The Giants kicked a field goal to make it a 1-point game early in the 4th. Stafford then rebounded with a couple nice throws because, again, that's just who he is, before the Rams would then break off another touchdown run, go up by 8. No, actually only 7 because they missed the 2-point conversion. 4th and 1, you better throw it a yard short of the stick. That's the Tyrod that Buffalo Bills fans are familiar with. But it didn't amount to anything as the teams just continued to exchange punts until finally one of Bill Belichick's Wes Welker clones, Gunnar Olszewski, had an incredible punt return. He belongs in the Hall of Fame now, obviously, because Devin Hester's a Hall of Famer, so is this guy. To make it a 26-25 game, being 5-10, the Giants had nothing to lose, so they went for 2, and it did not go well. Yeah, great job, assholes. But still, they would get another chance to win the game at the very end. 34 seconds left, 54-yard attempt, difficult kick, but not impossible for Mason Crosby, Packers legend, and he whiffed it. I can't tell you how weird it is to see him in a Giants uniform wearing Tiki Barber's number. Chicago versus Atlanta. The game had a bad pattern to start for the Falcons. There was a missed field goal, and then a Bears touchdown, and then another missed field goal, and then another Bears touchdown to quickly put Chicago up 14-0 early. I think I found my Tom Brady Check Down of the Week award winner. Wow, what a touchdown throw to make it 14-7. But Justin Fields was unsurprisingly good against this terrible Atlanta defense, getting the Bears once again on top, 21-7. Taylor Heineke was not as good, throwing 4 interceptions on the day. Teams exchanged some field goals in the third quarter. Heineke threw another terrible interception, which helped Chicago make it a 3-possession game late in the third. But Heineke would have another historically deceptive, sneaky, more athletic than you would think quarterback touchdown run to make it a 10-point game with 12 minutes left. And he did get the ball back with a chance to make it a really competitive game, and it amounted to jack shit. The Bears kicked a field goal to make it a 13-point game with 5 minutes left, and then Heineke started throwing interceptions like they were going out of style. The Falcons never scored again, but the Bears did with a touchdown run, and Heineke finished with his 4th and final interception. A 20-point Bears win. Matt Eberflus looks like the husband who gets cheated on in every Ben Affleck movie. Baltimore versus Miami. Unbelievably classy gesture by the Ravens organization to celebrate Ray Rice, one of the greatest women respecters of all time, before the game. They're legends of the game, and obviously the Ravens team was extremely motivated by Ray Rice's integrity and character, which is why they put up 56 fucking points in this blowout win. Lamar Jackson sealed the MVP with this performance, although early on it was a bit competitive. Basically, the Ravens shat all over the Dolphins. And oh look, when you talk about shitting, there's Odell Beckham making an appearance. Wow, that's not a coincidence at all. It was 14-13, and then the Ravens really just whipped their dick on the Dolphins' faces, and it was very, very brutal. Dolphins were being massacred so badly, I thought this was in Japan. Unbelievable one-handed snag for a touchdown. Great play. Lamar Jackson, perfect passer rating, 5 touchdown passes, just about as good of a day offensively as you can have. I still think he'll be one of the weaker MVP winners in recent memory, but I don't have a problem with him winning. He's kind of like the NFL version of Joel Embiid. He's a guy that has an all-time great regular season resume, win-loss percentage, all those stats and all that shit, but he has to show in the playoffs that he can do it. He's one deep playoff run from really entering some serious convos in the all-time quarterback list. Anyway, as you can see, the Dolphins just continually crap their pants. Even Tyler Huntley was dropping dick on the Dolphins with a touchdown pass. John Harbaugh, did you sleep with my daughter? Did you? Arizona Philly, the game you guys have all been waiting for me to review. The game started out great. Jalen Hurts found Julio Jones for a touchdown to put the Eagles up 7-3. Then Kyler Murray threw a pick six, and we went up 14-3 early in the second. This is going to be a great day, I can already tell. Yeah, field goal, whatever, who cares? A halfback pass, wow, everything is clicking. Jalen Hurts throws another touchdown to Julio. We're up 15 at halftime. This is going to be an easy blowout win and a great day, I can already tell. But, well, I am a little bit concerned that they're moving the ball here. Oh, they scored a touchdown. Well, that's an 8-point game. Still plenty of time. Here, Jalen's throwing deep. That should be caught, but he dropped it. Oh, that's okay. What's this? Oh, he's not going to catch that. Oh, shit, he did. Well, okay, well, a little bit too close for comfort now, especially after they tied the game, but that's okay. Jalen Hurts in this offense, when we get running, we're still really good. We score another touchdown here. We go back up by 7 early in the fourth. There's no way they're going to respond with another touchdown, is there? Well, I guess there is. Never underestimate Matt Patricia's shittiness. They tied it at 28, but that's okay, because guess what? We got Jalen Hurts, and we got great field position from an onside kick that they tried, but we could only get a field goal out of it. Okay, so now I'm officially worried, but guess what? I have faith in my defense that we're going to get a stop, and yeah, well, that's not good, and then that's not good either. What the fuck is going on here, guys? And then what the fuck? Like, seriously, learn how to tackle, you fucking assholes. He's at the fucking 5-yard line. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, they scored a go-ahead touchdown with 33 seconds left. Well, at least this Hail Mary actually made it to the end zone, unlike the Super Bowl last year. I made a video on it already, and I'll say it again. I'm not giving up hope as an Eagles fan despite this horrific loss. The Eagles are 11-5, as you can see in the screenshot. There have been plenty of teams in recent history with as bad or worse records that won the Super Bowl. Until my Eagles get eliminated, I will be a dedicated fan because I have integrity. Steelers versus Seahawks, Super Bowl 40 rematch, baby. Steelers began with a rushing touchdown, but Geno Smith, who has an insane highlight reel, would lead the Seahawks right back on another touchdown drive to tie it up at 7. But it would slow down a teensy-weensy bit as the Steelers kicked field goal, for the Seahawks took a lead on another great touchdown throw by Geno to go up 14-10. But the Steelers, knowing about Mike Tomlin's non-losing season streak, would not be denied as Najee Harris had an actual impressive touchdown run for once. Wow. The game would end up being tied early in the third at 17, which is the age of consent in most states. Unbelievably tight throw here by Rudolph, just unbelievable. Set up another rushing touchdown for the Steelers to put them up 7. Seahawks cut that to 4 with a field goal. George Pickens made this ridiculous superhuman catch, unbelievable, but they could only get a field goal out of it to make it a 7-point game. Would the Seahawks tie the game? No. Geno Smith would fumble, setting up another short field and another field goal for the Steelers to make it a 10-point game. Seahawks kicked a field goal of their own to make it a 1-possession game again, but they never got the ball back as the Steelers ran out clock and Najee Harris. Fantasy owners are just beside themselves after that final run. Props to Pete Carroll for showing up to work despite the false flag the day before between the Lions and the Cowboys. We all know Pete Carroll's into false flags. Google it. Broncos versus Chargers, the most boring game of the week, and the benching of Russell Wilson, who was so excited he showed everybody what he likes to do in the shower. It was a game of field goals. There was one touchdown scored in this fucking terrible game, and it was this one that put the Denver Broncos up by 10. Easton Stick, the baseball bat guy, yeah, never came close. Not even the missed field goal by the Broncos before halftime. The Chargers would cut it to 7 with a field goal midway through the third, and they would even get the ball back down 7 early in the fourth, but they fumbled because they suck, and then the Broncos would kick a field goal, go up by 10. But not so fast, my friends. The Chargers would respond with, well, a missed field goal. 5 minutes later, they finally got the field goal, but those 5 minutes were too much. The onside kick almost worked, though. It almost worked. Hey, does anybody have any pills? Kansas City versus Cincy. It was spooky hours early on for the Chiefs as the Bengals scored on each of their first 3 possessions, helped out by a Mahomes lost fumble as well, put them up 17-7 midway through the second quarter. But the Chiefs would eventually get their groove back like Stella, and the rest of the game was literally nothing but Harrison Butker field goals. 6 of them. Key moment of the game came midway through the third, up 4. The Bengals could not convert a 4th and 1 deep in Chiefs territory. You'll never guess how the drive ended for the Chiefs. It ended in a field goal to make it a 1-point game. Another duck by Browning led to another long pass by Mahomes, which led to another field goal to go up by 2. Another duck by Browning led to another field goal to put the Chiefs up by 5. Another lost drive for the Bengals led to another field goal to put the Chiefs up by 8. You get the gist by now. On the final drive, Browning actually converted a 4th and 18. Some nice throws, but he was really never any chance of this guy leading the comeback win. 4th and 27, his final prayer was not answered, and the Chiefs win their division again, so they'll have a home playoff game, at least one. Who knows what'll happen after that, though. Green Bay versus Minnesota. If Jordan Love ends up becoming yet another Hall of Fame quarterback, this is going to be one of the games people look back on and say, this is when we knew he could be legit, because this is one of the best games of his career in a blowout win versus the rival Vikings on national television. Although it didn't hurt that the Vikings were playing Jaron Hall, who was complete dog shit. Love had an amazing touchdown run, which put the Packers up by 14. Hall did a Nick Mullins impersonation, just throwing it nowhere, and then just before halftime, he got strip sacked, which led to another Packers touchdown to put the Packers up 20, and it would only get worse as the Vikings could not capitalize on a deep drive. Love expanded that lead to 27 with another touchdown pass. The only Viking touchdown of the night came thanks to a muff punt by Green Bay and a touchdown from Cumtown Nick Mullins to make it 30-10. Packers would add a field goal though to make it 33-10, which would be the final score. And we see a little roughhousing here, a little roughhousing after the game between two guys, probably talking about premarital sex or marijuana or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I'm just glad that nobody was hurt. Now it's time for the Week 17 Barry Awards. Offensive Player of the Week was easy. Lamar Jackson had one of the greatest statistical performances any quarterback's ever had. 5 touchdown passes, perfect passer rating, only 3 incompletions if I recall. Just easy choice. Defensive Player of the Week was a little bit tougher, but I went with Josh Allen from the Jaguars. 3 sacks in a shutout win over Booster Seat Bryce. Biggest loser of the week, fortunately, is my Eagles again. They had an opportunity to wrap up the NFC East or at least put a stranglehold on it. This late season collapse by them has just been terrible, but I am not losing hope yet, although I will admit that I did think we would not be 11-5. We might not even win the division anymore and might have to be the 5 seed and win 3 playoff games on the road as opposed to being a 2 seed, which was right there for us this week if we had just been able to beat Arizona. But if we're not able to beat Arizona at home, then, you know, we really don't deserve the 2 seed. But on the other hand, fuck all the haters. Fly, Eagles, fly. As I alluded to earlier in the video, my Tom Brady checkdown of the week, easily Taylor Heineke for the 75-yard touchdown pass to Tyler Algier. Nobody else makes this throw besides Tom Brady. Last week, I went with puppy of the game, but now I'm going back to the normal format for puppy time. You better not X out or else I will find you and kiss you. Enjoy these puppies.